is now the perfect time to start buying up crypto or at least averaging into crypto? That's what I want to look at in this video. I don't normally do videos like this, and I don't intend to in the future. But I'm seeing a lot of chatter on the internet about, the crypto prices crashing, etc. A lot of people are hurting, etc. For those of you who are like me who have been, in the space since 2017, and a lot of people way longer than that, this is a very, very, very familiar scenario. We've been here many, many times. You see what you call a sea of red across all the coins. Here I'm on Coin Market Cap. I've actually got these sorted by volume traded in the last 24 hours. I thought it would be a more interesting way of, seeing how these are ranked. But the too long didn't read of this video is yes, I do think now is an excellent time to start averaging into crypto if if you have the capital to spare, which I believe most people don't. And that's actually what I want to do here in this video. I want to talk about more of a macroeconomic view of things, the way I see things. It's my own personal opinion from someone who lives in the UK and lives what I would just call a typical standard life here in the UK. That would be, my input. But please put in the comments after watching this, put in the comments, how the situation looks in your country, because I can't talk for other countries. I don't live there. I don't know the stats. I haven't done the research, but I can talk about the UK. So first of all, let's talk about, the average living situation here in the UK, right? So right now, if I look at electricity prices, so here's March 2001 on the left of the chart, and on the right, March 2022. Look at the change here in prices, right? You've gone from 50, all the way up to today to 192, right? That's pounds per megawatt hour. I feel personally, and I think there are many people who would say this is what I'm saying is a no-brainer, it doesn't even warrant saying, but I don't even think we've begun to see the ramifications of such hikes in energy prices. Everything is underpinned by energy. If you want to plot the wealth of a country, it is directly correlated to the amount of electricity that that country produces. You can plot that yourself, you'll see it. Energy is a big factor, obviously. So electricity prices are flying up, gas prices, exactly the same thing, right? We've gone from cost, I don't even know what this is, per a THERM, a term, I don't know, from 50 to 230. So, I mean, that's a hell of an increase, right? That's multiples. It's huge. Food prices. Let's take a look here. So looking at the CPI index, this is from the Food Foundation here.org.uk. Obviously, oil and fat has absolutely skyrocketed. I think that's a lot to do with the war going on at the moment. Milk, cheese, and eggs, 8.6%. Like, that's huge. And actually, I think a lot of the food price increases aren't just due to energy price increases. In fact, I think it's probably more greed and companies seeing an opportunistic time due to the narrative in the media to increase prices. So I think there's a lot of that going on. Excuse me, but that's my own speculation. House prices. So look at the house price increases, right? So this is 2021, 22. I mean, they've been soaring in the UK anyway since, well, they've been soaring in the UK since we did all that QE in 2008. But they've been soaring anyway. I'm not saying that's the direct link, but, look at these prices, and especially the cheaper areas of the UK, they're seeing the biggest increases in prices. So that's huge. And actually, I want to look here as well. Look, if you're a family of three, so, my son, he's now like 16 years old. And, I'm getting married this year. And what that means is like buying a house, right? So I need that three-bedroom property here in the UK. And I live, south of London. And So, when you look at the prices here in like the West Sussex County as an example, so this is like a state, right? If you're in America, this is our equivalent of state, or if you're South African, this is our equivalent of a province, right? This is our county. You're looking at £500,000. The minimum you're going to spend for a decent house that doesn't need, 50, 100 grand's worth of work done to it is 450K, but really you're going to spend between 450 to 550K just for a normal, like decent house, 3 bedroom house. Some of these are 4 bedrooms, some of these are 3, depends on the area. So that's what housing costs today if you want to own a house. But let's just assume, for argument's sake, that rents are broadly there or thereabouts correlated to the house prices at the moment. And of course, there's going to be convergences and divergences there. But let's just take a look at, what is the average salary in the UK? So the average salary here, the average UK salary is 38,131. So let's assume a little bit more than that, because let's assume that, one partner, there's a family, they have a kid, one partner works part-time, whether it's, whichever parent it is, and then the other, partner's earning a bit more. So let's actually put it in at like 45K here, which I've done on the salary calculator. And so, you have to take tax and national insurance and all that stuff you pay into account, which leaves you with about £2,900 a month worth of, money after tax, after everything. So let's assume you want to get a house, right? The 5-year fixed rate mortgage right now is at 2.25%. This is Barclays I'm looking at. There'll be some better rates, there'll be some worse rates, but on the whole, let's just take this rate here because it's a really low one, right? 2.25%. And if you are getting a mortgage now, my view would be a 5-year fixed is a really good idea. It's a really, really good idea. Fix in the rate as it is now. Protect yourself from any, rates getting much worse. So let's take all of this into account at the moment and jump over here. I've got something I just prepared quickly in Excel. So let's say you find a house, you get an offer accepted. It's 500 grand. Regardless, let's assume a 15% deposit because that's normal if you want to get a good mortgage rate, which means you're going to be borrowing about 425 grand, assuming that you've got the deposit. And let's say the rate over 5 years, let's just say, because I'm trying to be conservative here, say the rate here over 5 years is 2.25%, and the term is 30 years, which is standard now. We used to do 25-year mortgages. At a push, you could get 30. Now it's standard to do 30, right? That's just how it is in the UK. Let me know, what is it like where you live in the country you're at. So we just calculated on the salary calculator, going back to this, that you're going to make 2,855 per month after tax. You've got a mortgage of 1,625. So this, you can calculate in Excel, by the way. A mortgage repayment calculation is the same worldwide, right? It's the same formula. So if you're interested in the formula, you can see it here to get the monthly, mortgage calculation. This is how you do it. And it's fun doing it in Excel because you can just change anything, right? So I could change this to 600,000, and then all of a sudden I know what my new mortgage payment's going to be. Let's assume you're going to have about £500 a month for bills. That includes the electricity now, right? That includes your telephone and broadband. That includes your council tax. I know some people are watching this going, dude, we're going to spend way more than that. Others will go, no, it's not quite that much. But so let's take a £500 average here, right, of all the bills. That leaves you with about £730 a month for everything else, which includes your food. So of that 730, food and dining is going to be about 500. If you look at the average stats, Google will tell you, there's websites that will tell you, you're looking between 450 to 500 per month is the average household spend on food and dining. Probably people spend a lot more than that, actually, or need to, in reality. Clothes, entertainment, trips, whatever else. Fuel for your car, right? You got to travel to work. I know when I fill up my car, I've got an old BMW X3. It's from the year 2006. I typically buy old cars because I don't treat them very well, right? I like to spend my time coding stuff and doing crypto stuff with you guys. So I'm not out there washing my car very often. I buy old cars, and I'll usually spend between 1.5 to 3 grand to 1.5 to 3.5 grand for a car, and then I'll keep it for a number of years and run it into the ground and just do the same thing again. But that car right now, because of the cost of fuel, cost me about £95 to fill the tank. It's only a 1.8 liter, right? That is ridiculous. Like, that is absolutely ridiculous. That's what it costs. So just to fill my car, if I need to get from A to B, luckily I don't have to commute. But if I did, I can't feed my family. Or at least our quality of living is terrible. Let's assume you're going to buy this house, right? You need stamp duty, 25,000. You need a deposit, right? You need X amount of capital. Now, if you're a first-time buyer, then your stamp duty situation is quite different. But you're going to need between 75 to 100 grand in capital. How are you saving that money? So I don't know if this is painting a very bleak picture. It's not actually meant to. It's just putting in average household income, stats, etc. If you live in the UK, let me know if you agree or disagree with the way I'm presenting this here. But this is the situation. So after this, how much money have you got to invest into crypto? Probably what a lot of people are doing is it's their birthday. Maybe they got some money from a relative. And rather than going and putting that petrol in their car or trying to save their 10% a month, like the richest man in Babylon theory, right? You save 10% of your income no matter what. Over time, you get rich, etc. You've probably heard it all before. Probably they're thinking maybe crypto can save me here because I need something, right? I need something to get me out of the pit that I feel like I'm in. And I don't feel this is an unfair comment. I feel that anyone can feel like this from time to time, that they just don't have enough, right? This is just human psychology, I feel. So, you got to ask the question, going back to these crypto prices, what is the situation we're in right now? In terms of, do people have money? Energy rates are going through the roof, right? We've just seen all of this. We just looked at the economics. So talking about the retail market, does the retail market have the money to just go and plow into crypto? I don't think they do. But do I think now is a good time to start buying into crypto? Abso-freaking-lutely, I do. Absolutely. So look at Ethereum here. I've got a price chart for Ethereum, right? This is going from 2001 to today, right? So look at where Ethereum is in respect to recent highs and its all-time high. And yes, I do think that's relevant, looking at a price versus itself, because this is a growing market. And if I scroll back in time, where prices were much lower for Ethereum, I can tell you that this felt crazy. When prices were down here at 100, I actually remember this. I remember having a conversation with my friend going, I don't think crypto's over, and Ethereum's at like 85. And, I actually remember having the conversations, right? And so what I'm talking about here is just human emotion, the booms and busts of human emotion here. I rode this wave. Most of us did on this channel. We rode this wave, right? I remember the day before this drop, posting a video. You can find it on the channel talking about the divergence in total coin market cap and volume, and that it should crash. And that was just pure coincidence. Literally the day after it did. That's when it tanked. And I remember the feeling here. I mean, I think I lost there about £11,000 just in that drop. And I know that's nothing compared to other people, and I know that's a lot for some others. But, I rode that wave. And then down here, the human emotion is, will crypto ever recover? Recovers a bit, everyone gets excited. No. Okay, now it's dead. Now we're in what they call the crypto winter, right? All this means is that money was being allocated in other places, and the narrative in the market, etc., and the perception of value and the perception of the return on investment, etc., had changed. And so what I'm saying here is the story just always changes. And in my opinion, the best trade is that the story will change. Because right now the narrative is very bleak and dismal. But that's the trade. Buffett will say, for example, buy, and I think this is a famous saying, buy when others are fearful and sell when others are greedy. There you go. But it's actually very hard to do because we feel like it's a mistake because now is like the worst time to do it because of the narrative. But that's the trade. That's the long-term trade. The long-term trade is that the narrative will change. Another way to, put it is, if you want to get a winter coat for cheap, buy it in the summer because the season will change. And winter coats are dirt cheap in the summer, right? The season will change. And so for me, this is a no-brainer. If you're willing to hold your capital for 5 years, right? Because, I mean, this could go up, this could go soaring by the end of this year. Usually in an inflationary market, I mean, I'm guessing we should see inflationary prices increasing. We should see salaries increasing at some point. That would be my guess, right? The narrative starts to change. The economic cycles play in. If we take an even broader step back, and, let's say you were to follow Ray Dalio and what Ray Dalio talks about in terms of market cycles and then larger macroeconomic cycles. The gap between being extraordinarily wealthy and living on the breadline becomes more and more of a reality each day, in my opinion. In the past, this has happened. This is not a new thing to, the human race. This is not a new thing. In the past, this has happened before. And the way that it normalizes is basically by the masses demanding wealth, saying that we've had enough. Like, I'm living on the breadline and you're living in a mansion. And so they turned up to mansions with pitchforks, threatening to burn it down. And then, of course, the wealthier people are going, okay, all right, you're right. I value my life. Here we go. Here's some money. Let's redistribute the wealth and normalize things. So, if you follow like a lot of what Ray Dalio talks about and those studies, I think what we're seeing here is just this continued stretch happening. And I don't think this is any big secret or any big revelation. There's nothing I'm saying in this video, actually, that's just a big revelation. If anything, this video is just about putting in a timestamp, right, around what we're looking at today. And so I just wanted to show you here as well, the average UK household cost of food. This is where I was getting the numbers from as well. So is now a good time to buy crypto? As I said at the very start of the video, I think it's a really good time to buy crypto because I'd almost say to you, look me in the face and tell me that Ethereum and Bitcoin, Solana, whatever, will never get back near its all-time high again. Like, look me in the face and tell me you want to bet money that that will happen. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's now on a video. It's recorded in time, right? But it might take 5 years. I don't know. It might take 5 months. I don't know. Nobody knows. But one thing I do know for sure is that crypto is not dead and the narrative will change. So let me know what you thought. Take care. Talk soon.